So, we've been talking about the guided observer, and I'm going to invite you to listen along and have an experience with the guided observer. So, for this, it's very helpful for you to be sitting in a way that you're as comfortable as possible. You do not need to look at the screen. You don't need to look at anything. As a matter of fact, it's most helpful if you just close your eyes. So because you're going to want to stay awake for this, you may not want to be completely lying down, but you want to adjust yourself so that you can feel physically supported and not have to hold yourself up or be concerned that you might slip off a chair because you get relaxed. So take time to adjust yourself, and of course, turn this off and turn it back on when you can really feel comfortable and alone in a place that you're not going to be disrupted for a little while. Giving yourself about 15 or 20 minutes with this. And I'm going to be doing two, but I'll go from one into the other because I think they can be good going together to begin with. And then you're welcome to try it on your own without the guided instruction or listening to me again. And I'm going to invite you to try this, each one, at least 2 times so you can see what your experience is with it. And then talk with us about it on the phone when we meet. So just taking a moment to breathe in and breathe out. And I want you to just check in, if you would, with what you're thinking about right now, what you're feeling emotionally right now. Just begin to understand what it's like to listen as the compassionate observer, to listen without judgment. Just noticing if your mind wanders, where it's wandering to. And you might want to even tune in to a part of your body that doesn't feel as comfortable. And just notice how you're thinking about this, how you're describing it. Notice how you're reacting to the discomfort. What are you saying to yourself? Are those absolutes coming up? The nevers and the always? Or are you allowing yourself to think about discomfort by giving yourself some more options? And I'd like you to think back. Maybe it was earlier this very day. Maybe it was yesterday. Think back to a time that you weren't very physically comfortable. Just remembering that time. And notice first how your body right now is reacting to thinking about this. And allow yourself to breathe and release. Remembering that exercise of the bracing, the tightening, noticing, breathing, and releasing. As you're doing this, I want you to notice how you're thinking about this past discomfort. What are you saying to yourself about it? And see if you could change some of your thinking. Just experiment with it. Try changing some of your absolutes to possibilities. Try seeing what happens if you think about this discomfort with less charged words. Like, wow, I was really uncomfortable then. That was kind of hard. But I got through it. It got a little better. Well, maybe it got a lot better. Just notice back yesterday, the day before, a time that you recall of discomfort, and see if you can soften the edges around it just a little bit. You're not changing the reality that you experienced this discomfort. You're using this opportunity to experience what it feels like to think about it a little differently. Maybe you'll notice that you were unkind to yourself then in the way that you experienced it. Maybe you blamed yourself for doing something too much or forgetting to do something. And see if you can think about it in a different way. Like, I learned a lot from that. You're not going to have to show that to me twice. Having that kind of discomfort really showed me that it would be much more helpful to not do this or to do this. See if you can think about this event, this time of discomfort, in a kinder, more productive way. See if you can learn from it, grow from it, utilize it to help you feel more comfortable. And now let's come back to right now, this very moment. Allowing yourself to just check in with your body. Just a very light awareness. And seeing what you're saying to yourself. Even what you may be saying to yourself about what I'm asking you to do. Notice if there's an openness, if there's positive self-talk, like, I will try this. Or if there's something harsher, like, why am I not understanding this? Or why didn't I know this before? Or how is this going to possibly help me? All those negative evaluations that keep you stuck, which I know you don't want to be. So just observe and see if you can open to alternative ways right now, going back and noticing. And I will stop talking for just a moment. I'm right here with you to give you an opportunity to just check in with your body and breathe and see if you can experiment with different ways of thinking about what you're experiencing right this moment. I'm still here, just giving you another moment to kindly observe yourself. And as you're kindly observing yourself, I'm going to move into the next part of this, changing your experience of discomfort, helping the discomfort feel more comfortable, building that path, that bridge in your mind from discomfort to more comfortable. And you might remember the words that we talked about to describe discomfort. So I'm going to ask you, even though it might not feel very good, I'm going to ask you to notice right now a part of your body again that is feeling some discomfort, that is less comfortable. And I'm going to ask you to observe what you're noticing. If it feels dull or pulsating or throbbing. And remember, you may start with words like sharp or stabbing, but we're going to see what happens if you begin to explore a different way of experiencing the discomfort. Maybe noticing the pulsating, if you have a throbbing or a pulsating. Maybe just noticing it, seeing if it has a beat, like the drum beat in a song you might like. If you want to, you can even imagine that you're kind of tapping out that beat. And then see what happens. I wonder if you can slow the beat down. And maybe the pulsating is a little quieter, a little softer. Or maybe you're experiencing something that's a little sharper, and see what happens if you can change that to less dull, using the word dull, even imagining something that's really dull. Like a popsicle stick couldn't cut something. It's kind of dull. Imagine that the less dull part, the sharper part, is being coated with something that makes it softer. Maybe you can even experience it as a slight tickle. See what happens if you get creative. And change that experience. Change the way you're thinking about that experience. Maybe something feels just a little warm, or just a little cool. There's so many different words we have available to us, so many different ways of thinking. And once again, in a moment, I'm going to stop talking to give you the opportunity to see if there's a sensation there. How would you like to think about this sensation? Would flowing work, or softer, or muted, or dull? And just experiment with changing the experience, the way you are processing this experience. There's still a sensation in your body, but maybe it tickles, or it has a slower beat. Just see what happens, and for just a moment, I'll let you do that. And now you are welcome to continue this on your own, as this recording will end, this instruction will end. You can stay with this as long as you want, breathing in and breathing out to allow an experience of a different sensation, a sensation that might be more comfortable.